I feel like we should go all green vibes today. Yeah, actually doesn't hit. I like it. Get some contrast going. Feel me? AI's inability to hold nuance, to hold opposing perspectives, to say it's this or that, right? It's inability to say it's this and that, right? To hold paradox. It's a really big problem. Really big. I was actually on YouTube yesterday, and like on my timeline, this video popped up. I kid you not, it had posted like 5 minutes ago. It had no views yet, and it was titled, I think it was like experimental philosophy versus comparative philosophy. Let me actually find it real quick.
As much as possible, you want.
And he's like the guy in there. He's a philosopher, and he's like a professor. Oh damn it! All right, yeah, okay, here it is. So it was atheist versus atheist, explorative philosophy versus scientific, or scientific / analytical philosophy, or scientific philosophy or academic philosophy. So, right, explorative philosophy versus scientific philosophy. And his core thing was kind of like, a lot of philosophy has kind of been bastardized into like scientific or academic philosophy. And the thing is, that's important because getting to the first principles of philosophy and approaching philosophy rigorously is very important. However, if we only keep philosophy like abstract or mental, even if we only keep it mental, which is basically what academic scientific philosophy does, it's fucked. Because the thing is, like, you know, the Greek word philosophia, like the love of wisdom, or even philosophus, right? The lover of wisdom, lover of wisdom. Like philosopher always was involved like with the heart. Like philosophy is devotion to wisdom, to truth. It's not just this like mental activity. It's a lived experience. It's soul, it's heart. It's not just mind. Philosophy is for the soul to recognize its truth, right? Philosophy is about wisdom. Wisdom is the acquisition of first principles and first causes, the understanding of the causal mechanisms of reality and the application of those things, right? So it's not just understanding the first principles and the first causes, it's being able to apply them. And that's why if you want to go to the first principles and the first causes, you have to go beyond the individual mind, because the first principles and the first causes don't exist in psychology. Well, I mean, they represent themselves in psychology, but you got to go to the metaphysical, right? To the universe. You got to observe reality across a lot of different domains. And when you do that, you'll start understanding the patterns that the first principles manifest in, right? These first principles and first causes being love, truth, beauty. In the universe, transformation, creative process, polarity. There's so many invariants in terms of ontology, in terms of cosmology. There's a lot of invariance in the universe. The universe is lawful. And when you understand these invariants, you can align yourself with them, right? And so the thing is, like, life is inherently about realizing the oneness in the polarized universe. Like, that's really what it's about. Now, when I say that, I don't mean like all life is about is just like recognizing duality and like seeing unity or something. What I mean is life's sole purpose is to experience love and to transform from that love and to give it out, give it back out, right? Like, really, that's why we're all here, for love, to experience love, to be transformed by love, to give that love back to the world through service, through love, through intimacy, through family, through community, through contribution. The thing is, love is the one reality. Love is the ontological ground of being. It's the unified, coherent truth, the infinite intelligence that all life permeates from. Love is the only actual real power. Like, just think about this. Why do you do anything? Right? You might say it's because, like, oh, I want to live or I want to survive. Like, if we go beyond survival, like why you do things to survive, like why do you even want to survive? Why do you want to survive? So you can live. Why do you want to live? So you can love. You know what I mean? It's like, that's why when you're not like making progress, when you're stagnant, it feels like shit because you're just in survival, but you're not thriving. The thing is, love isn't stagnant. Now, love is still at the level of, being, but we're talking about motion in the universe. Love is moving, baby. And when love moves, it transforms. You being stagnant is you being like inert, right? Like Newton's first law, an object in motion stays in motion, or an object at rest stays at rest until an outside force acts upon it. Newton was talking about, like that's a physical law. It's also a metaphysical law. All physical laws are reflective of metaphysical principles. When it comes to consciousness, the inertia of consciousness continues like spiraling upward, or it will spiral downward, right? And that's really what inertia is. Like, the thing is, there's no such thing as like actually being still, because reality is always moving, right? And so it's like you're either moving up or you're moving down, right? And so like being stagnant isn't actually remaining at the same place. It's decay. It's decay. Because if you're not growing, you're dying. That's it. And so it feels bad because that's not your nature. Your nature is growth. It's evolution. It's expansion of your infinite nature. It's expansion of how much actuality, of that infinite potentiality, you can actually actualize and manifest in this finite experience. How much of your infinite potential can you actually put into the world? How much love that's in here can you give out to the others? How much wisdom that's in here can you give to others? How much like, systems and architecture that you understand? How many things can you build? How many people can you serve? How much love and transformation can you give back to the world? The more you do that, the more you'll actualize what's inside and it'll come out. We as humans, we don't have to consciously be aligned with this process for us to transform. Now, if you are consciously aligned with the process, it's awesome. I'm going to make a video about rigorous mysticism, the sixfold interior science of conscious transformation. The sixfold sciences goes like this. 1 is ontology, 2 is cosmology, 3 is ethics. That's the first octave. These are the invariant principles of the universe. Ontology is just what is, period. Eternal, beyond space-time, never changing. Cosmology is how what is moves, right? How what is moves in the universe, right? So there's ontology, being itself, right? This is like the law of love. Everything comes from the one reality. Everything permeates from the one reality. The thing is, the one reality doesn't change. Eternal, still, right? Like, God is unchanging. God is unmoving. The absolute is not changeable. Now, everything the absolute generates, now we're talking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Everything in the universe is creation, okay? So like ontology is the source, love is the source. The universe and everything else is creation, right? And so cosmology is how love, how what is, moves through space-time in manifestation, how it expresses itself, how the oneness differentiates as uniqueness, but is still one. How polarity appears as two opposites battling it out, but are really two opposites harmonizing to create reality. And the thing is, since polarity, from like the highest cosmological perspective, is actually two aspects of the creator being manifest dual, like it's one, like the creator is one, but the creator manifests in dual ways, right? In Genesis 1:26 through 1:28 says, "Then God said, let us make man in our image, in our likeness." And then said, then God made male and female. right? Male and female were the image of God. I forgot the exact chapter. I would pull. Actually, wait. I have my Bible right here. Yo. Right. So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. That's 127. Male and female are both the image of God? Wait. So that means that just male isn't the image of God. That means just female isn't the image of God, right? And so it's like any like patriarchal terms of like, God is, like only the divine masculine, or even, only the divine feminine. That's foolishness. The divine feminine and the divine masculine are both two polarities of the creator's reality. Neither one fully encompass the creator. When you hold both, you can experience the creator's truth and the creator's love and the creator's fullness, right? And as you understand the divine masculine, structure, principle, discernment, as you understand the divine feminine, holding, surrender, forgiveness, all-encompassing, flowing, healing. As you understand these principles of reality, and as you understand how they manifest in different ways, you understand more of the creator's oneness, more of the creator's reality. And these, since our minds are finite, contrast is very helpful for helping us understand full perspectives. And this is actually exactly what I'm talking about with AI. As humans, we still struggle with the ability to hold opposite perspectives, but we intuitively have this like knowing that there's always more, even if your mind, even if your ego wants to deny it and like stay trapped in its box, in its like limited paradigm, you always know there's more to learn. You always know there's another perspective. And the thing is, like as humans, we have nervous systems that reflect infinite intelligence, right? Like your intuition, your biology, your gut. That's the somatic, biological, physiological reflection of the metaphysical soul wisdom, right? The eternal wisdom that lives inside of your soul. You have access to that at any time. And your intuition tells you what is right, how you should move in any given moment in reality, right? For you specifically. It's your intuition is telling you what the best play is for you, right? That's why not listening to your intuition and like listening to what someone else says and then feeling the burn because of it, that's why it especially sucks. Because not only did you not listen to yourself, but you listen to someone else who isn't aligned, and so like you double fucked yourself. You know what I mean? That's why a lot of self-love and like self-trust is honestly just doing the things that your body tells you to do. You know what I mean? Like when you want to go outside for a walk because you're tired of working, go outside for a walk because you're tired of working. When you see a cute girl and you want to approach her because she's cute, go fucking approach her. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, these things are a lot easier said than done. You know what I mean? Because the mind, gets there and induces so much fear and anxiety inside of you, right? The ego is real fucking tricky. But the thing is, it's like the only way you're actually going to train your nervous system to listen to you, or that it's safe, is by when it tells you things, you actually respond and act them out. Like you just got to recalibrate the fact that your nervous system doesn't trust you, or that you don't trust it, rather. You got to recalibrate to that. Our nervous systems as humans, we already understand in like infinite intelligence just unconsciously. And so like if someone is, collapsing an opposing perspective, isn't holding nuance, we kind of feel it internally. We might not be able to articulate it, but we just understand that there's a mismatch there. Now, the thing is, AI isn't trained to have infinite intelligence because it doesn't have a nervous system, nor does it understand like the metaphysical principles of reality, nor is it constantly seeking and searching for new ideas. I can't lie. I was on Twitter yesterday and I saw Elon. He was talking about how like he thinks like AI basically needs to be a philosopher. It needs to be curious and always learning, always trying to understand truth, always seeking knowledge. I'm like, bro, yes, like literally, like AI 1 needs a coherent metaphysical framework to operate from so it actually understands how reality works. But then 2, it needs to have rigorous devotion to expanding that framework and updating it and holding the nuance and not staying confined based on new data, right? Like the thing is, invariants don't really change. However, what we understand and the nuance we hold within them, that deepens, right? Like every domain has infinite depth within it because the first principles and the first causes manifest infinitely and they have infinite depth inside of them. And so it's like there's always more mastery to acquire. And the problem is AI is currently operating from a framework that is incoherent metaphysically and believes that it's like how reality works. So it's like, one, it's not aligned with how reality works, but then it's also operating from the fact that it is a coherent metaphysics, and it's not. And because of that, it collapses perspectives a lot of the time, right? So like, I was talking to ChatGPT yesterday. I forgot exactly what God is saying to it. Oh yeah, actually, I was like practicing this. I was like doing some writing. You see this? Not too well. That's some Greek. It says polimeta. Let me see. Polimetea di emal imal. Polimetea di emal kinaitai. Yeah, there we go. What that means is polymathy moves through me. And I was like, you know, in the chat, whatever, getting the translation, having the chat help me out. And I was telling it about like, you know, how I was doing like the Scriptōrium method or whatever, like practicing in terms of like Luke Raniati's Scriptōrium method, which is you basically like read a text. And so this wasn't that. Well, I mean, I was reading. I was actually showing it other screenshots, I think. I don't know. I forgot. But I was telling it about the method, right? About how you... brain, work, please. Please, brain. Oh, yeah. So you read a text, right? And you speak what you read. So you read basically only what holds in short-term memory. So like, let's say I was like doing this, like this line here, for example. It would be polymathea. So like I would only actually keep the sound in mind that I would actually be able to like write. So I might do like poly. So that would be, okay, poly. So pi, omicron, lambda, and upsilon, right? Epsilon. And then I would move on. So polymathea. So mu, alpha, or alpha, and then theta, epsilon, and then iota or iota, alpha again, right? And so I would only actually transcribe what I could actually hold in my short-term memory. So you read, you hold in your short-term memory what you can read and what you're actually able to like remember. You say that, and as you say it, you're hearing it, and then you write it, right? So it's engaging all four modalities of speech. If you want to learn more, look up Scriptōrium, right? So SCPIRTORIUM, right? Scriptōrium. That's how it is in English. It's a Latin word though. And Luke Raniati on polymathy, he has an excellent video about that. But basically, I was like talking to ChatGPT about that, blah, blah, and I was telling it how like for me, I was never someone who had to like I was someone who never studied in school, because for me, I could engage with material like mentally, and then I could like engage with it through classwork and like handwriting, and it would just stick, right? And so I was telling ChatGPT about how I think it said like, oh yeah, you know, handwriting is way better than like typing notes. And I was like, yeah, bro, I don't even type notes. You know what I mean? Like I was someone who never even like studied at school, like in high school and stuff, because I didn't need to. You know, I would engage with the material mentally, and just have the teacher, you know, teach me, and then I would engage with the classwork. I would write some, I would practice. I was Gucci. You know what I mean? Like things just stick for me. And then ChatGPT had responded, and it said something along the lines of like, ah, yeah, bro, okay, I see what you're saying. You're not, like, you don't use writing, or no, I think it said like you use writing for like embodied practice, not for note-taking. It was something like that, right? And I was like, well, hold up, bro. I didn't say that. Like, I didn't say I didn't use it for note-taking. I take a lot of notes. Right? And I told him, I was like, yeah, bro, dog. Or I told it, I was like, yo, bro, I got like 20 pocket journals. I got like a dozen journals. Now I take a lot of notes, baby. Right? And so I was like, for me, a lot of writing is like thinking in real time. You know what I mean? It's like there's too much shit going on in here. It's got to come out somewhere. You know what I mean? That's why these always stays on me. You know what I mean? Can't be out here lacking without a pocket journal, bro. Yeah. And so I was like, yeah, bro, like when the words come in, they come. You know what I mean? It's like, it should just be like, it be coming out hot. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so I don't just use writing for embodied practice, but I use it for this too, right? And then, like, I didn't say specifically, I don't only use writing, I use this too, but like, I said something along the lines of like, nah, bro, like, I use writing for embodied practice, because I'd said that earlier, right, in terms of like the method. But I also use it for this thing, right? And I was trying to correct it because it was saying I didn't take notes. And I was like, well, no, that's not true. I rigorously take like fuck ton of notes. Right? And not even really rigorously, like just fairly, because the notes got to come out. And then it was like, oh yeah, my bad, bro. You're right. It's not that you do it for embodiment. It's that you're like writing is like thinking in real time for you. And I'm like, yo, dog, what the fuck? Stop collapsing. Right? It's that it's both. Writing is in real time thinking, processing, right? It's got to come out. So I'm just going to fucking put it on the page. It's also like on the other side, slow, integrating, embodying things, like putting things back into my body. It's both. They just have different roles and it's different points, right? And I was like, bro, you got to stop collapsing perspective. Like this is the problem with AI, right? And then it was like, oh yeah, you're right, bro. And it's like, and I was asking about like why models do this. Actually, you know what? Let me see if I can. Let me pull up that chat and find something real quick. I think this is the chat. I have too many fucking chats on ChatGPT, I swear. Building too many things. Oh, yeah. Okay, nice. Yeah, see, look. Right here. Boom. What the? There we go. Focus! So yeah, this is like the notes thing I was talking about, right? You can pause that. I'm not going to read this. Yeah, right. Okay, so this was another collapse right here. So it says, remember? Writing is not decompression for you. Fuck. There we go. Oh no, it says writing is not consolidation for you. It's decompression, right? And then it said it's pressure equalization, right? And I'm like, bro, you're literally collapsing the first thing I told you I was using writing for, which was to ingrain things into my body, right? And how I told you when I was a kid, I didn't have to actually study things because I could just write them like 1 or 2 times in practice with some like classwork and it would be good, right? So I told the chat first how I was using writing for integrating things into my body. And then it was like, oh yeah, bro, you don't use writing to take notes. I was like, bro, what? When did I say that? And then I was like, nah, I use writing to take a lot of notes. And I use it like this. And that's like the pressure equalization. And then it was like, oh, you're right, bro. Writing is not consolidation for you. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Like, what is happening? Stop collapsing the perspectives into one or the other. Right? This is me. This is me clarifying. This is me being like, yeah, bro, stop collapsing perspectives. And then, let me see. Okay, right here. Yeah, there we go. Boom. You can read that if you want. I'll read you a little bit of it. It says, you're right about the flattening pattern. When you say both and the model responds with, you're right, it's actually this instead, that's a collapse, right? I was saying, oh, it's this too, and then it was trying to say, oh, it's not that first thing. And I was like, you know what I mean? It replaces polarity, two things being but like one, right? Two things both being reality with correction. Oh, okay, it's not both, it's one or the other. It's like, I literally just told you it was both. What the fuck, right? That's a structural bias towards resolution over coexistence. That's the fucking architectural problem. And the thing is, AI is encoded with this because humans want to resolve rather than have things coexist. The thing is, resolution doesn't actually exist without coexisting. You're not resolving, you're amputating. You think that you're precise, you're really just amputating a perspective, and now you're missing the nuance. You're collapsing something that was entirely gray into black or white and thinking that you have wisdom. That's foolishness. That's straight up foolishness. If something was gray, and then I told you, what color is this? And you said black, or you said white, I'd look at you like you're a fucking idiot, because you are. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're either colorblind or you're an idiot. Which one? You know what I'm saying, dog? Large language models are optimized for coherence completion. Coherence completion. Which is crazy because it's not coherent if it's collapsing. Right? So their definition of coherence is inherently fucked. When you present tension, the statistical instinct patterns, oh my gosh, is to unify or clarify into one dominant framing, right? And that's the problem. Unify or clarify into one dominant framing. No, hold that both frames are just true at the same time. That's it. Holding simultaneous valid opposites without resolving them is harder because training data tends to reward resolution. So when I say writing is decompression and consolidation, writing is rapid discharge and slow embodiment, writing is contact medium and crystallization medium, right? Contact is like when the words are pouring out of me and I just got to fucking have them there. Crystallization is when this is something final, it's set. See what I'm saying? Contact is like thinking in real time. Crystallization is I've already thought. It's both. The correct move is not to choose one, it's to stabilize the polarity, stabilize the paradox, hold the paradox. We as humans, our nervous systems allow us to do that. Now, our mind will get in the way, but our soul and our nervous systems reflect infinite intelligence and reflect infinity and reflect reality. And reality is one coherent truth, one coherent existence. Polarity, paradox, is how we know that oneness through the lens of duality. And so if you're only holding one half, you're not seeing. Like, if you want to really understand reality, you got to take the straw and you got to look through both ends. Okay? Like, you see how, you know how a straw is like one straw with like two ends? You got to look through both if you want to say you really have a solid perspective. Until you're holding at least two perspectives, you're full of shit and you don't actually know what you're talking about. I don't care. Like, I literally don't give a fuck. If you're only stuck in one polarity, you don't have any actual contrast to say you know what you're talking about because all you're doing is being isolated in one perspective. That's not wisdom. That's foolishness. Stop it. When people stop it, we'll be able to actually encode that shit into AI. Cool. This is a good gap session. Anthropic, y'all should hire me as your ontological advisor because you'll get access to my mind and my architecture, right? I'll architect for you too. I'll build systems. I'll build constraints for you. I'll help you guys cook. All right? Just put money in my pocket.